Hi, welcome back to Growth Catalyst. Today's episode, we are going to wait. Yes, boss. Yes. Yeah. I will send you the report. Yes. I have understood. Yes. Clear. I'm sending it. Yes, I've sent. Please take a look. Yes. So in this episode, we are going to talk about how to wait a minute. Yes, boss. What? You got the wrong report. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I will send the right report. I'll send the report. Oh, no. No, not that report. That report is not even due till next week. What? I should have sent you yesterday. I committed only that. No. Oh, okay. I will check the mail, boss. I will work on that. Sure. Yeah. I'm sure you got the message. We all work with demanding bosses. I worked with my share of demanding bosses. And how do you work with demanding bosses and make that relationship work? That's what we are going to see in this episode. Let's jump in. Let's look at how do you manage a very, very demanding boss subordinate situation, a very, very demanding boss, that situation, that chemistry into a very productive chemistry. Demanding and challenging bosses need not necessarily be a pain. It all depends on how you handle the situation. As long as the person is a good person, and most people are good, most people are under pressure, and that pressure leaks out as stress, which is also going to stress you. So the secret sauce is understanding what their stress is, understanding what they're going through. That's what we are going to discover in this episode. Yes, boss. Yes. I will send the report. Finally, I have completed that report. I'm sending you. What? You don't want the report? Why? Okay. You want, you want the report, but you want a concise version of the report. You want an executive summary of the report. No, I have the full report ready. I have not had time to prepare the executive summary. No, we discussed this 1 hour back. You wanted the complete report. I have been working on that. Okay. You want a 1-page summary. Okay, I'll prepare that 1-page summary. I will share it with you. Yeah. Life can be like this. If your boss changes the expectation every 5 minutes or every 1 hour. Luckily, I don't have that kind of boss, but I've heard enough from people who have had that kind of boss. Bosses who change expectations almost every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, the layout of the report to be changed, the content of the report to be changed, the length of the report to be changed, the report itself is not needed, something else is required. All kinds of things happen. So how do you handle this? What do you do if you are matched with this kind of a boss? How do you work under such a boss? Number one, understand where they are coming from. The boss is a human being. And obviously, the boss has a boss, that boss has a boss, and so on and so forth. Unless you are your own owner of the company, and even then, you are looking at profitability, you are looking at whether everything is clicking together, you are looking at if it's a public company, next quarterly report to go. So there are enough pressures irrespective of what position you are in. And at whatever position you are in, you need to understand what your boss is going through. That understanding would help you how to schedule things, how to communicate with your boss, and how to keep the sanity going. So what did I do with some of the bosses that I have had pleasure to work with, some of the most demanding bosses that I have worked with? I have done 3-4 things. I'll share it with you. One, I try to understand what their pressures are. What are they going through? What are their pressures? What are the expectations from their bosses? What are they trying to solve? And what are their immediate priorities? What is that they want to deliver this week? What is that they have to deliver next 1 month? What are the different kinds of things that are expected to do? That understanding gives me a clarity in terms of what I'm going to be expected to do for my boss. Number two, I set up meetings, review meetings every week. A 15-minute to 30-minute stand-up review meeting where we may be having coffee and discussing what are the priorities for that week? What are the priorities for that month? So that gives me clarity on what are his priorities so that they are going to be soon my priorities. So that I get to know in terms of what his challenges are. But I am now scheduling to handle those challenges for him. 3, I also have check-ins immediately. So instead of sending and then checking with him, I'm going to check with him. Okay, today I'm going to share 2 reports with you, and these are the 2 reports. And this is the content that you wanted as we discussed last week. Are they still on? Have the priorities changed? And believe me, priorities do change. Priorities do change drastically in companies as they evolve, as they tackle different kind of challenges. So you need to know whether the priorities have changed and what that priority could be. Instead of typing and sending a 60-slide report, they may want a 2-slide executive summary, as I just enacted a little while back. And that could be for a reason. Instead of having a 1-hour discussion with his boss might have given him a 5-minute window so that they can quickly discuss and take a call. So to discuss in a 5-minute window, he needs an executive summary of 1 slide. He can't go to that meeting with a 60-slide summary. So while it looks like he's changing his mind every 5 minutes, he's changing it because the demands on him are changing. And that when that changes, the demands on you are also going to change. So it helps to understand what the priorities are. It helps to understand that the fact that not only they may need a report which is detailed, at some point in time, they may also need an executive summary. If you had understood that point earlier, you would have prepared both together, and depending on what they needed, and even if they have not explicitly asked for, you could have shared that along with the main report, the executive summary, which would have made your boss appreciate you even more. The third thing that I started doing with most of my bosses is updating them on what I am doing. So not only do I get an understanding of what they needed, but also I keep them updated on, boss, I'm going to work on this report. Boss, I'm going to prepare these notes for you. Boss, I'm going to prepare these sets of insights for you. And this is my priority for the day. Let me know in case you have some other priorities. So that helped me to tell him, communicate him to with him right on the day, early in the day, what my priorities are, what my thought process is. So in case he had something else, it gave him a window to correct me. It gave him a window to tell me what his priorities are in case they have changed. Sometimes they do change. So I would get a thumbs up right on the first thing in the morning rather than when it becomes very urgent for him. And he might have missed completely about telling me in terms of what has changed. And he may be frantically asking for it at the last minute. All of that I could avoid by doing this in terms of telling him what are the things which I am working on, which are on my plate. The fourth thing that I started to do is whenever I sat with him, I used to take notes, note down what his priorities are, note down what are the things that he is talking about, note down what his and therefore the company's challenges are, and note down what I need to ask as questions for clarification. So at the end of the meeting, actively listen, not much of interruption except for noting down where I wanted clarity. And after that, whatever he had to say, then I will pause and ask him set of questions so that I'm clear on maybe the terminologies used, maybe the kind of priorities he's putting, maybe the kind of thing that he's expecting me to do, so that it becomes a clear alignment session where I understand what are the things that he is thinking that we should do for the company. I also know what is my part in adding to what he needs to do. So that alignment session gave me enormous clarity in terms of telling him that this is what is happening, this is what I'm working on, and these are 3, 4 things that I will be preparing for, let's say, 1 month from now, 2 months from now, whatever that he might be interested in. What is the result of all this? The result of all this was that we developed trust over a period of time. Trust is not developed on day one. And if you don't do any initiative towards building that trust, it's not going to be built. And sometimes it's important for the boss also to do that initiative. When the boss is not doing something, It's your responsibility to take the initiative to build the trust. And it can be built easily. Basically, do all of the things that I just outlined so that the boss sees your initiative. The boss sees that you are trying to ensure good working in the company. You are trying to ensure that you are part of the bargain. Your delivery is not affected by whatever his mood swings are, whatever stress and strain that he may be undergoing. And that would also ensure that he opens up a lot more to you. That's exactly what happened in my case too. For a period of time, I developed great bond with almost all the bosses that I worked with. I could understand what their challenges are. I could understand what is it that I needed to do from my side. I could understand what my team as a whole has to deliver to ensure that he is shining in front of his boss. When you ensure that your boss is shining in front of his boss, your boss will ensure that you shine in front of your team. It's as simple as that. You need to take a lot of proactive measures for that, but you can and you should. What are the proactive measures? Simply whatever I told in terms of understanding stress and strain of your boss, understanding what is on his plate, understanding what are the complex things that he is working on. If there are complex things, if there are complex projects that he is working on, what are the metrics that he's trying to deliver at the end of the day, and what way that you can help in influencing delivery of those metrics. When he understands that you are trying to do all of this, and when you put yourself in the shoes of your boss and think like him, then you will understand the complexity of that one step above you, whatever is happening. And that would help you also to deliver your job better. That would also cement the relationship with your boss so that your boss will be absolutely pleased with you, very, very happy with you. And he will also very clearly see the proactiveness with which you are taking the measures to deliver your side of the bargain, whatever your KRAs are, and also the proactiveness with which you are seeing and ensuring that whatever he is going to ask, you are able to anticipate it well, and you are actually delivering it much better now with all of these measures in place. So there is no secret to managing the boss. There is no secret to managing upwards. It's all about empathy, putting yourself in the shoes of your boss, seeing with the eyes of your boss, feeling with the heart of your boss in terms of what the challenges that that person may be facing, and ensuring clear communication channels, check-ins, frequent check-ins, daily 5-minute updates, weekly 15-20 minute stand-in meetings where you both of you understand each other's agenda, where daily updates for him so that he knows that these are the 3 things, 4 things that you are working on, and a combination of sitting with him whenever you need to understand a project that he's working on, a change or policy change in the company, or a change of structure which is happening in the company, which can be a very stressful situation for anyone, and especially for the boss. All of that would help you understand the situation better and therefore manage the situation even better. Go ahead, try doing all of these changes as I suggested in your relationship, especially if you are working with a demanding, challenging boss. Try all of this, be proactive. You will see how beautiful a change is happening in the relationship that you are having with your boss. It will be for the better. Wishing you all the very best for that great change and wishing you great improvement in your career. Please like and subscribe the channel. We will see you in our next episode.